Hey guys, it's Andrew from 510 Books. It is Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. I'm in my warehouse and about to go pick up the kids. So I wanted to make this video. Been working on the Gaylord today. And as you can see, I have quite some stacks going. Only one is really ridiculously high, but these are all for local sale. By genre. And I got a bunch of stuff on the table here to go out. And all that stuff on the other table, the white table, is all for eBay lots. And I've found some DVDs and whatnot in here. So I've really gotten down in there. Made a dent. Tomorrow I might work a little bit on it, but mostly on Thursday. I'm probably not going to finish it before Friday, but I'll be really close. So that is good though. And I was glad to find Married with Children 5th season. Feels light. I don't know. Hopefully all the discs are in there. And then I found P90X, which I've sold many times on eBay. You can usually sell it for like 20 to 30 bucks, around there, depending on the condition and of course if you have all the discs. So that's where I am. That's what I did today. Finding some video games, not a ton yet, but some. But also what I want to talk about is how to protect your large and heavy boxes of media that you're sending media mail through to the post office. So I have sent many heavy boxes through the post office, mostly comprising of books, CDs, and DVDs, as well as some, some records too. I'll do some record lots as well, but majority are books, which are very heavy, CDs, which if there's a lot can be heavy, and DVDs, which aren't that heavy, but they're big, and if you have a lot of them, they will require a large box. So as an example, these boxes over here, which I've been talking about for a while now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are all on, well, no, there's a couple on eBay. The rest will go up on eBay, but they're going to be sold on eBay in auctions. And I'm going to have to ship them through the post office. And as you can see, some of them are pretty large. They hold up one, two of them have 123 DVDs. So, I'm going to ship these boxes like this. This is a small one from Lowe's, but some other ones are much larger. They're not super heavy, maybe 25 to 30 pounds. Sometimes you get over 30 pounds, but of course, if you have books in there, then, or CDs are much heavier because the cases are heavier, the plastic cases than the plastic DVD cases. So if you have a lot of books, a lot of CDs, they get pretty heavy, especially if you pack one of those with CDs. It can be, it can get up to like 40 plus pounds. 50 pounds is pretty crazy. So what has happened to me many times with these lots that I ship in large boxes that are more or less heavy is many times, I'm talking several dozen times. This is doing this for, last 4 years. So what I realized, or what started happening is, especially with CDs for some reason, and so here's the thing, that they would end up getting to the final destination and the box was completely destroyed. It was all ripped up, retaped, and there was often, not always, but sometimes there was a piece of paper in there from the post office saying we had to open it. We tried to return everything as it was, or something along those lines. And so people often were saying, I bought 120 CDs and there's only, 75 in there, and a bunch of them are broken. The discs are broken, the cases are broken. It's a mess. They're just kind of sliding around by themselves. And I know that I never have, and I never will ship CDs or DVDs or books with space in between them so they can move around and shift and potentially get damaged and make lots of noise as well. So I always make sure to tightly pack them. I will resize the box and or add some packing material in there, to make sure that they're not going to move around, especially CDs, because the cases can break easily, the disc can get harmed, all that kind of stuff can happen. So you have to make sure that there's no space in there. So this started happening a lot, and it turns out that there was postal inspectors that were opening these boxes, and they weren't. It was strange because they weren't returning everything that was in there. They were just throwing it away or taking it, and people were getting incomplete lots, and I was having to give partial or full refunds, and it was happening so much that I even considered stop selling lots on eBay. And so I continued along to do it, and I started doing a few things that have seemed to make a difference. Now, of course, this is not a scientific experiment. This is based on my personal experience. It's not a large sample set of samples, but I have sold hundreds of lots on eBay, and I've shipped hundreds of boxes of books, CDs, DVD lots, and record lots, etc. And even cassette tape lots, which are even more fragile. So I've also done audiobooks. I've also done 8-track tapes, VHS tapes. So I continued to make sure that there was no space in there, no empty space in between the items so that they couldn't shift around and all that. So I always made sure of that. Close the box, resize the box rather, close it tightly, tape it really tightly. Make sure, shake it around, make sure nothing was moving around in there. I would always do that before I would tape it, just to make sure if there's anything moving around, even though it seems like it should be good, then I'll stick some more, something in there in the empty space, basically. So one other thing I started to do is I started to take a marker, and on at least 2 to all 4 sides, I would write big, bold letters. So I'd write a couple different things. I would write, on one side, I would write fragile media or very fragile media. And the other side, I would write heavy media. And then I would also write handle with care. I'll write that a couple times. Big writing so they can see it. And then I would say thanks, or please handle with care, or fragile items, please handle with care, thank you, that kind of stuff. And since I started doing that, I noticed that I hardly ever have this issue. Now, is it due to that? I think it is, because that's the only thing that I changed, and I was consistently having these issues with lots. Every time I would send one out, I'd be worried that it wouldn't get there intact with all of its, with all of the individual items that the person had bought, and then I would have to deal with, like I said, partial or full refunds. So in most cases it was partial, but nonetheless, I didn't want to have to keep doing that. It was getting to the point where I was considering not, selling lots anymore. So I started writing on them, and I noticed that I haven't had, cross my fingers, knock on wood, I haven't had this happen in a long time. Honestly, can't remember. The last time was maybe at some point last year. There's a few times I forgot to write on the side, but it still got through somehow. So anyway, I don't know if things changed at the post office. I don't know why they were opening my boxes in particular, because they weren't making a bunch of noise, but I know that they have the right to do that. If it's a media mail and they open it up and it's something that shouldn't be shipped media mail, because media mail is cheaper and you can get in trouble for that. So I make sure not do that. But they would never repackage it correctly. For some reason, there would be items missing, and I would just assume people, postal inspectors were stealing, which is so weird, but I don't know. Either that or they were just destroying it on purpose and throwing half of it away. But anyway, since I started writing friendly messages on there and telling them that it's fragile and telling them that it's heavy, and if they could please be careful and handle with care and thank you and please and all that stuff, it really stopped happening. It hasn't happened since. So I would consider that. I think my thought process is that these workers, they just see tons of boxes and they don't care. and maybe they get bitter and it's tedious and they don't like their job and all that kind of stuff. So just writing a little note saying, please handle with care. Thank you, please. It's heavy, it's fragile. Maybe it gets in their head and they'll just leave those alone. That's my thought. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have other ideas about that, or are there ways to prevent lots on eBay from getting destroyed while they're en route through the postal service. Hold on. If you have any other ideas, great, or any other experience with that, let me know. But that has seemed to work pretty well for me, and I continue to sell lots. Like I said, mostly book and CD lots, but continue to do it, and I have not had too many issues. Now, I mostly just write on the larger boxes that are heavier. If it's a smaller box, only like 10 CDs or 20 CDs or 10 books or whatever, I might write on there just, only fragile or very fragile or handle with care, something like that. But I mostly just do it on the big boxes. Actually, I always do it on the big boxes. Always make sure to do that. So hopefully this helps you out. Consider it if you're selling a lot of lots on eBay, especially heavy big box lots. Consider that. Might make a difference. Did for me. So thanks for watching, guys. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content where I talk about anything having to do with my local reselling business and reselling on Amazon and eBay, specifically books and other types of media. So I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe. Take care.